The Amanda Project by Melissa Kantor and Amanda Valentino. Chapter 14. This wasn't possible. I looked around me. There was the porch swing I'd seen that day on our bikes, the wide porch, even the door, if the door was a different color, everything about the place was exactly the same. Amanda had definitely said she lived in this house. Is it possible she used to live here? We'd biked past in late November, and it was now in the middle of March. True, Amanda had never mentioned moving, but clearly there were a lot of things Amanda never mentioned. Oh, I suppose it's possible, the man chuckled, but that would have been a long time ago. My wife and I have lived here for over 50 years. This wasn't possible. Amanda Valentino, I said, and after all my fears about Dad behaving badly, now it was my voice that sounded harsh and irritated. She's a teenager, about my height, beautiful, changes her appearance a lot. She told me she lives here. The man didn't seem to have heard the last sentence because he was distracted by an idea. Are you by any chance looking for Calista? Callie? What? My dad's voice was a near shriek. Again, the man didn't seem to notice. Oh, that must be what you're talking about. A lovely girl. He helped my wife and me with some errands this summer, back when it was so icy in January. Honey! He called over his shoulder to someone inside the house. There are some nice people here. They say they're looking for Callie. I felt a wave of dizziness and wondered if it was possible that I was actually going to faint. As I grabbed onto my dad for support, an elderly woman appeared by the man's side. She was as hunched over as he was and wearing a dress about the same color as his sweater. I once read somewhere that married people come to look alike, and I wondered if that was what had happened to the two of them. Yes, she said. Sweetheart, these people are friends of Callie's. They're looking for her. The woman's face lit up, and she gave us an enormous smile. Oh, she's a lovely girl. Did Harold tell you about how she helped us this winter? I don't know what we would have done without her. Smart as a whip, too, continued the man. Gonna be an astrologer. Now, Harold, the woman gave him an affectionate look, an astronomer. She turned back to us. Her mother was an astronomer, you see. That's why she was so interested. Now I felt my dad's arm starting to shake. When neither of us spoke, the woman's expression suddenly changed. Nothing's wrong, is it? She not in any kind of trouble? Miraculously, I found my voice, though it was shakier than I would have liked. No, I muttered. No, nothing like that. I just thought she might be here. She's fine, though. Absolutely fine. Oh, that is such a relief, said the woman. We hadn't seen her in a while, but she said she'd come again. Would you care to come in for a cup of coffee? Asked the man. Or tea, the woman added. We have some lovely teas you might like. We managed to decline the offer, say goodbye, get off the porch, and get in my dad's truck without actually being conscious of any of these things happening. My dad pulled away from the curb so fast his tires squealed. I'm sure he left tracks in the pavement. When we got to the corner, he made a left, then pulled over and slammed on the brakes. What kind of sick game are you playing, Callie? He was breathing hard, his face was red. Me? You think I'm playing some kind of game? Are you kidding? He leaned toward me and pointed his finger in my face. Did you take that money from somewhere? Is that what happened? You think I stole the money and then came up with a story about Amanda? Is that what you're saying? My voice was even stronger now, and I was yelling. I don't know what to think, said my dad. I don't understand you at all. You don't understand me? You have got to be kidding. I could feel myself starting to cry, but I was too angry to care. I'm not the one who's drunk half the day, Dad. I'm not the one filling up our house with a crazy redwood forest. I'm not the one who's losing his mind, okay? So don't you sit there and tell me I'm a freaking mystery to you, and you're the one who's become a totally different person. I was breathing hard, and I turned my face away from him and looked out the window. We were parked in front of another Victorian house, not as nice as the one Amanda claimed she lived in, but still pretty nice. And for a moment I was overwhelmed by the desire to live in it, or any one of the houses that lined this street, or any house but the one I lived in. My dad and I sat there for a long minute, but neither of us said anything. Then he turned on the engine and pulled away from the curb, heading toward home. We didn't speak the whole way back, but when my dad parked in front of the garage, I said, "Just keep the money, Dad, okay? Who cares where it came from? Who cares what she did to get it? Just keep the money and save the house." I didn't wait for him to respond. Just got out, shutting the door behind me before going inside and heading up to my room. All I wanted was some time to myself, time to lie down and try to make sense of a world that had, over the course of the past 36 hours, gone utterly insane. For a second, when I opened the door to my room, I expected to see a new note from Amanda. But even though I pulled the comforter off my bed and dug all around the pillows, there was nothing there. I even opened my desk drawers. Nothing. As I lay down on my bed, I couldn't decide if I was relieved or disappointed. Just as I closed my eyes, there was a tap at my door, then another. "What?" I called. The last thing I felt like doing was hashing out everything with my dad. No answer. Another tap. "What?" I said again, louder this time. Again no answer, but 2 taps in quick succession. Sighing loudly, I swung my feet to the floor and crossed the room. "What?" I practically shouted as I swung the door wide. But there was no one there. What the? Another tap made me realize the sound hadn't been coming from my door at all. It had been coming from the window. I walked over and looked down. There, standing behind my house, was Hal Bennett.